There's a lot of things you don't know, about our story, so I'll just share a few things as we journeyed and documented our story. Jonathan McNabb, when he introduced this to us, a few things happened, a few months, a few weeks, even years before, where I was just sick and tired. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was hungry. I was looking for something. I knew, I had in the Marine Corps, I don't talk about a lot of these things because I don't want it to be about me, but some things you need to know to see the story clearly. Like in the Marine Corps, I had a top secret clearance, guarding the embassies overseas, keys to the castle, right? I was a big bad Marine. I was on top of the world. And, but you know what the world does, Jerem?
Tell us.
It beats us up. Right? It beats us up as I journeyed out of the Marine Corps. I was a big bad Marine, but the world brought me down to a mouse and a computer and a phone. Hey, boss. To just mediocrity. And I thought, well, what am I doing? What happened? I was the dragon slayer there. That's when I asked my wife to marry me. That's when I was on top of the world, cloud nine. And then Jonathan simply picked up the phone at a time that I was ready. I was hungry. Did you know that Jonathan enrolled me his third day in the business? He couldn't even spell Moringa Alifera. That's a pretty important teaching moment. You guys got to think about that. He didn't know what he had his hands on yet, but he did something. This is the business where you could know nothing, but do something and gain everything. So before he called me, though, I had invented a widget that I ordered 1,000 units. I spent $10,000 of this thing that I had made in China. They're sitting in my garage right now. It's a pretty good idea, but I didn't want to be the janitor and the president and the stock boy. I didn't want all that. When Jonathan, because I had that entrepreneurial spirit in me, and all of you do too. All of you do. You have to embrace that, because I wasn't going to stay trapped in mediocrity. I wanted a way out. So Jonathan showed me a better way, Ryan. He showed me a better way. He introduced me to this, and I said, hey, I can do what you did to me. And that's the light bulb moment that you're selling in this business. If you want to sell something, sell that light bulb moment where someone ends the interaction with you and they walk away saying, I can do what Jonathan did. So he showed me that. Thank you, Jonathan. You changed my life forever. I appreciate you, brother. Give Jonathan McNabb a big round of applause. So I walked away from that, the other entrepreneurial thing, to focus on what made sense. $1 billion brand creator, products that are incredible, people. I'm a people person. This is a people business. So I took a hold of it and ran with it. So we got started. So that's a little bit of the backstory in our journey to get us to the base of the mountain. But when we got started, the first month into it, we recouped our investment, right? You all heard that, maybe a piece of our story. And these days, people do it in the first hour, day, week, month, as fast as you choose, because it's so streamlined. But the first month into it, we recouped our investment. The first year, my wife was able to stay at home with our kids. We had 3 kids back then, okay? So 3 kids, both working full-time jobs, okay? And really, we only made like a five-figure income that first year. That wasn't that impressive back then, right? But the next year, it was almost 10 times that, okay? So, I don't want to get into any numbers details, but that first year when my wife stayed at home with our 3 kids, and we did it while we were busy. We're all busy guys. Okay, so you just have to embrace the process and the system to help with that busyness. But that first year, and this is the part that not everybody realizes,
Yeah, Kevin.
my wife lost her job. Chris, you remember when I called you? Chris Estes, wherever he is. I called Chris and I said, dude, my wife just lost her job. And she was the breadwinner, right? But luckily, we embraced this system and these people and these leaders and our coaches and teachers, and we did something, right? So we were ready for that. And that day, I was going to call Nadia and say, hey, in a few months for my birthday, you're going to turn in your 2 weeks notice. And Zija will retire you. But curveball, it happened that day. she called me crying, and I said, what am I going to do? I had to make some choices. So I climbed. I kept climbing. I climbed that mountain, and I did stuff, right? I just sunk my claws and my teeth into this thing, and I kept doing the thing, right? Do it now, do it over and over. And I got better and better. Well, surprise, a few months later, and this business has allowed us to go on, Turkmenistan twice, Burma, Thailand, India, on mission trips, doing things, incredible things with people and for people and learning, sharing the gospel and doing some cool things. But I came back from one of those trips to find my boss, excited to share some stories about Jesus and some stories about life with my friends at work, to find my box of stuff on my desk where I had lost my job too. So there we were, and now I'm going to get back to our story because I want you to understand the adversity that some of these leaders and diamonds and many of you might be going through right now, that we've been there too. Like Brandon Hayes said a few years ago, we've been where you're at. We know what you're going through, and this is what it takes. It takes just consistency. Continue to climb, because that's next year. We really had to just make another choice. And I just said, you know what, let's just run. Zija did us a favor. We're now both retired. So the first year into it, my wife was able to stay at home with the kids. The next year, I was able to stay at home with the kids. The next year, we made another kid, right? Freedom. Watch out, guys and gals. Well, freedom. And so 3 kids, we had the 4th. Well, our compensation plan, and what is the key number that you've been talking about throughout the week, throughout the weekend? 5. And the comp plan says you have to have 5 strong builder legs to go diamond. So the reason that Nadia is not here right now is number 5. So our why is growing, and it's continuing to grow. And guys, we love what we're doing. We love you. I'm so thankful for this. I wanted to tell you some stories I think that you needed to hear for inspiration, encouragement about adversity. But obviously I'm so thankful for this, for the tokens, for the friendships, for the relationships, and for the team. So team, give yourselves a round of applause real quick, please. And I mean all of you, because each of us need all of us need each of us. We are all on the same team, guys. Diamonds, we're all working for each other, Roger. We're all doing this thing together, and all you have to do is then reach out to that cross-line cousin. Reach out as you climb to the top. Continue consistently to do the same things because it's worth it. The freedom is priceless. Obviously, you get to chase your wife around and all that stuff in your free time and make babies if you want to. But we love what we do. We get to homeschool the kids, travel the world together, ministering to people. Guys, we build the business from the beach, from the road, from our front porch. If you really knew what the diamond life looks like, you would run through a brick wall to get it. So I'll close with this, guys. As you journey to Mount Zija, to the top, don't quit. Don't give up, David. Don't give up, Chris. Anytime, any of us that if we feel like we're at the top, we get stagnant or something. So there's a lonely wolf. Because sometimes as you lead, guys, as you come to the front, in your business, as you're leading, it's sometimes lonely on the stage, or it's sometimes lonely doing the right thing because you can't see to the left and to the right because you're in the front, right? If they need me, they're just going to catch up with me, or they're going to get my attention. You just lead, and it's lonely. So you could be, there's a lonely wolf on the side of that mountain right there, but sometimes there's a lonely wolf at the top of the mountain. But I promise, the lonely wolf on the side of it will always be hungrier as he's climbing, step by step by step to the top of that mountain, whether it's a cougar or a badger, I don't know, I like the wolf and a lion. But so never rest, right? Spend your time with your kids, spend your time with your spouse. But take this thing, take the bull by its horns and run with it. Race to the top of that mountain. Never rest. Always stay hungry. And I appreciate you so much, Ryan. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Jared.